My name's Elizabeth Woodruff, and we're in Gower, which is between Castlemaine and Malden.
What originally got you started with Corn Dollys?
My mother, really. She did a lot to revive the craft in the UK, and I used to help her as a child. I used to go to fairs and things with her where she was demonstrating it, and so I just learnt from watching her. Because lots of people say, oh, Corn Dollys, they won't last very long. And so I take this one with me. It's a bit dirty at the moment, it's pretty dusty. But my mother made this when we got married, which was 42 years ago. And I used to hate it as a kid because every time you wanted to have a bath, Mum would fill the bath with corn. She'd always sort of vet my boyfriends, did they have a car, so we could go cutting corn. But then when we came here to Australia, and there was beautiful wheat all around, and nobody are doing this, I saw it as an opportunity just to make a bit of money, and then the kids would spend it, and it was good. It was good fun. But they're made throughout the world now. Originally in sort of Arabia, sort of Iran, Iraq, that sort of area. The original wheat belt. They're made as offerings, really. They're paid for a good harvest. And in any culture, a good harvest is really important.
Have you seen any pagan movies?
Yeah, my husband, when I'm having markets, my husband always talks about the Wicker Man, and I say, shut up, because it sort of puts everyone off. And there's one shot in that film where Brigitte Bardot is dancing around in a bedroom. Corn dollies everywhere, but she's stark as, so no one really notices the corn dollies. This one is the Hereford one. I think they're really cute. They've got that sort of heart shape that's done with the 6 Plat. This one is, this one's got a nice, well, it's got a gruesome story, but I'll tell it to you anyway.
Please,
This one's called the Neck. Years ago when they were harvesting the wheat, and they'd go around the edge, and they'd think that the spirit would keep going inside to the standing wheat, just like rabbits would or something if you were out in the field. And then, of course, when they wanted to cut the last little bit, the spirit was going to, they thought the spirit might leap somewhere. So if anyone passed the field when they were doing that, they thought the spirit leapt into that person. So they'd capture them and chop the head off. And this is supposed to represent the body wrapped in the last sheaf of corn. Right, now I've had people pick these up and say, oh, these are gorgeous, I really like these. And then I tell them the story and they say, thank you very much, that's good, that's interesting. But
that's something you still do?
I do, but it doesn't always work. These ones here are the little countryman's favours. So that, again, and these were supposed to have been made by young men as they took their ladies for walks in the fields, and they'd be given as a sort of love token. This little one here is a buttonhole favor. So originally at hiring fairs in the UK, how this was tied and decorated would indicate to a farmer who wanted to hire labourers whether they were a fencer or whether they were good with animals or what their particular skill was. And you can just sort of wear them in your buttonhole. And this knot that this is tied with is called a Staffordshire knot, because in Staffordshire in the old days apparently there were so many criminals that they had this knot that had 3, can you see it's got 3 holes, so they could hang 3 criminals at the same time. Wow,
efficiency. Is there any you have that aren't about hanging people? Or?
And killing people, yes. This one here is the one we're going to make, right? And this one is called a 6 Plat because it's done with 6 straws. The process is, first of all, once a year you go out and harvest, and I've just harvested. You can be in a huge field and you've got a pair of scissors, and that in itself is quite a nice experience. It's just so peaceful. You just go and you cut. So I just hold the corn and cut at the bottom. I usually say, can I come and cut some?
That reminds you sneaking in the scissors.
No. They do think you're a bit mad, first of all. If you're plaiting, you can only use it to the first node, the first joint. I cut in the field and then I dry it in the sun. And then when I'm ready to use it, I cut it just above that first joint and then strip it. The outside covering just comes off, so that you're just left with the clean straw, and that's what you can plat with.
Okay.
Except it's dry now, and so that it doesn't snap and break, you have to soak it. In this container here, I put some to soak. It's just in water. Lots of people say, what do you soak it in? But it's just water, and that means that it's pliable enough for you to plat.
How long do you usually soak it for?
It depends a bit on the straw. This is quite fibrous, so I actually soaked this overnight because I didn't want to get up early. Just a couple of hours would be enough.
Yeah.
Should we have a go at the 6?
Please, yeah,
okay.
let's do it.
We're going to choose 6 straws. It doesn't matter about their length, but they should all be about the same thickness. Now we're going to tie the heads together. It's a sort of linen thread. It's quite strong. And we're going to tie a knot just about half a centimetre above the knobbly bit. So I go twice round.
Yeah.
And do a half knot. Pull it tight. And do the second half of the knot. It's difficult to do sometimes when someone's watching you as well. When I'm demonstrating, I get into, and then cut off the ends, otherwise I get in the way. The way I hold it is between these 2 fingers.
Yep.
And you need to fan these out now so that they're a star. Hold it in your left hand and use your left thumb to hold them flat. This is quite tough, and you've got to tell it where to go. Okay. Right, we're going to work clockwise. So we're going to take one straw, let's say the one at the top.
Yep.
And we're going to put it over 2. So we're going to put it over those 2 and bring it down.
Yep.
Fold it down. And to keep it there, I actually sort of hold it for a second with my little finger. So that straw has gone over those 2, and now it's lying down here. So this was the working straw.
Working straw.
Now my next
Jimmy Barnes song that never took off.
The next working straw is the next one clockwise. So if you just put that one there, that's the next one.
Yeah.
And it goes up over those 2.
Those 2.
After a while it becomes sort of automatic because the hand that you're putting down with is almost getting ready to pick up the next one.
Do you find it kind of meditative?
I do.
Repeating?
Because
look how fast you are.
It's because it is repetitive.
Yeah.
And I don't even have to think about it anymore. My muscle memory just does it.
Yeah.
And so while you're doing that, you just, your mind sort of drifts. A lot of people actually comment on the fact, but those aren't corn dollies. That's not corn, that's wheat. Because corn is a generic name for all cereal. Yeah. It just happens that we tend to use it for maize. They say, well, why are they called corn dollies then? And the doll just comes from the derivation of the word idle. So you see, you've done really well. You can see that you've got that twist.
What do you like to do to look after yourself other than making corn dollies?
I wander around the garden a lot.
That's a good one. What's your favourite thing in the garden at the moment?
I think the Queen Anne lace, which is just growing over there. I've always loved it. It reminds me of England because it grows in all the hedges and things.
Yeah.
So when you're ready and you want to try another one, you just pull all the ends together. Do you want me to tie it?
Yes, please.
Okay, we're going to tie it there, nice and tight. Now the other thing that you can do, where did I do with mine? Oh, that's
Look at it.
That's the 6 plat, all right, and it's just that, and everybody will hold it differently. You've just got to find a way that sort of suits you.
Yeah.
Okay, so
great.
So it's okay. So we want 5 this time. Okay, we might use this time. Just pop that on the floor. So, yep, just about half a centimetre below the head knobbles.
Head knobbles. That's part of the UK Parliament, isn't it?
They're all head knobbles, aren't they? This time, set it out as a 4 compass points. I'm just trying to think, what do I do next? Actually, I can do it, but can I show you?
Can you say it at the same time?
That's right, yeah. So I'm bringing one of the top ones down to the bottom, and the bottom one I'm sort of pulling it out to the side and flipping it around to the west. Let's call it the west.
Yeah.
Then the one that I didn't just put there, I'm pulling it down here and flipping it up to the north. So I move the whole thing.
Yeah. You go underneath.
So I go underneath it and I go alongside it. And eventually you'll see this sort of like square form in the middle.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't go over, it lies next to it. So the square will get bigger. And that's what I was trying to say about the straws lying next to each other, and the twist coming. You can see that the twist is coming, right? So
it's what I say whenever I hit the dance floor. Why do you think people should do traditional crafts like this?
they will get lost. You know, if people aren't, you know, keeping them going.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I suppose it's like a bit like living history, I suppose, as well as being a traditional craft. It has sort of more of an art form.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not just this, but a lot of other traditional crafts cannot be used perhaps necessarily in their original format or for their original use, but they can be used to produce, you know, a work of art or something beautiful. And it's always nice to make things.
Yeah.
To produce something is wonderful, I think.
Mm.
This is a nutmeg, and mine's big enough now to sort of pop the nutmeg in. Instead of it getting bigger by going on the outside, I'm going to actually now start making it come in a little bit, and I'm going to put it on the inside of the straw. So I could put it there and make it bigger. If I put it there, it'll get smaller each time. Okay, enough.
Yep.
Leave it sticking out the top. Yep. Oh, now, the only thing you have to hold on to is the one where you've got two.
Yeah.
It's okay. So hold on to that. Oops. There's quite a lot of knot tying in Corn Dollys. So I tie it, and I'm just going to use the ends to make a hanger. And I'll just cut those off.
Oh, the two ends, so tie the two ends together.
So there you go. So have you got your festive branch? You'll be able to hang it on your festive branch. Only reason it doesn't look like mine is because I've done hundreds.
Yep.
And it's just practice to be able to be firm when you're making a fold. Don't let the corn dictate where you're going to make the fold. You tell it where it's going to bend. And once you do that, the plaits will look a lot neater.
Do you look forward to creating new things as much as you do creating old things, or are they the same? Or
I think, I suppose it's like, do you wear a new pair of shoes or do you put your slippers on?
Yeah.
You know, if I'm doing the 6 plat, it's like putting my slippers on. But if I want to try something new, you've got to concentrate and you've got to read instructions and you've got to look at direct.
But you still find pleasure in the kind of repetitiveness of it?
Yeah, I do. It's part of it, I think. I think it's like basket weaving or maybe even, you know, running and things like that, the repetitiveness of that. Yeah, I do find that quite soothing.
Struggling to think of my questions.
Yes, I know, because you're thinking on this. But can you see the idea? See the square here? Huh?
That's what I often tell people about this series. It's not going well, but can you see the idea that I had?